Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudirayet
Tato Jayamudirayet
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke
Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, Verse 10. Patnyastavadimakaklupta mahabhishekha
Pantyastadvadimaka kalpata mahabhisheka
Slagishtacharu khabaram kitavai sabhayam
Slagishtacharu kabaram kitavai sabhayam
Sprishtam vikirya padayo patitashrumukya
Sprishtam vikirya padayo patita shumukhya
Yastat sriyo kritaha tesha vimukta kesha
Yastat sriyo karte krita hatashe vimukta kesha
Patnyastavadimakklupta mahabhishekha
Pantyastavadimaka kripata mahabhisheka
Slagishtacharu kabaram kitavai sabhayam
Slagishtacharu kabaram kitavai sabhayam
Sprishtam vikirya padayo patitashrumukya
Prishtam vikirya padayo patita shumukhya
Yastat sriyo kritaha tesha vimukta kesha
Yastat sriyo krita isha vimukta kesha
Patnyastavadimakklupta mahabhishekha
Pantyastavadimaka kripata mahabhisheka
Slagishtacharu kabaram kitavai sabhayam
Slagishtacharu kabaram kitavai sabhayam
Sprishtam vikirya padayo patitashrumukya
Prishtam vikirya padayo kitavai shumukhya
Yastat striyo kritaha tesha vimukta kesha
Yastat sriyo krita hitesha mukta kesha
Krishna Chandra Nandapur.
Patnyastavadimaka klapata mahabhisheka
Pantyastavadimaka kripata
Patnyastavadimakklupta
mahabhisheka
mahabhishekha
Sragishtacharu kabaram kitavai sabhayam
Slagishtacharu
Slagishtacharu
kabaram
kabaram
kitavai
kitavai
sabhayam
sabhayam
Prishtam vikirya padayo patitashru mukhya
Prishtam
Sprishtam
vikirya
vikirya
padayo
padayo patitashrumukya
यस्तत् स्त्रियो कृता हतेश विमुक्तकेशः
यस्तत् स्त्रियो कृतः तेष विमुक्तकेश दिव्य रूप रेवती
पन्त्यास्तवाधिमखाख्यपता महाभिषेखा
पत्न्यास्तवाधिमकलुप्तमहाभिषेक
पत्न्यास्तवाधिमकाभिषेका
श्लाघिष्टचारुकबरं कितवै सभायाम्
श्लाघिष्टचारुकबरं
श्लाघिष्टचारुकबरं
कितवै
कितवै
सभायाम्
सभायाम्
पृष्ठं विकीर्य पदयोः पतिताश्रुमुख्या
पृष्ठं
तं विकीर्य पदयो
पतिताश्रुमुख्या
पतिताश्रुमुख्या
यस्तत् स्त्रियो अकृता हतेश विमुक्तकेशा
यस्तत्
यस्तत्
स्त्रियो
स्त्रियो कृतः तेष
अकृतः तेषा
विमुक्तकेशा
विमुक्तकेशः
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace of Charanarinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
जय
जय
Synonyms: Patniya, of the wife.
पत्नियां
पत्निया of the wife
Tava, your.
तव
तव your
Adimaka, during the great sacrificial ceremony.
Adhimaka
अधिमका
during the
during the
great
great
sacrificial
sacrificial
ceremony.
ceremony
Klipta, dressed.
Lipta dressed.
Pipta dress
Mahabhisheka, greatly sanctified.
Mahabhisheka
Mahabhisheka
greatly
greatly
sanctified.
sanctified
Slagishta, thus glorified.
Slagishta thus glorified
Slagishta thus glorified.
Charu,
Char
Charu
beautiful.
beautiful.
beautiful
Kabaram, clustered hair.
Kavaram
Kavadam
clustered hair
clustered haired.
Kitavaihi, by the miscreants.
Kitavahi by the
Kitavahi by the
miscreants
miscreants.
Sabhayam, in the great assembly.
Sabhayam in the
Ayam
great
the
assembly.
great assembly
Sprishtam, being caught.
Prishtam being caught
Prishtam being caught.
Vikirya, being loosened.
Vikirya
Vikirya being loosened.
Padayo, on the feet.
Padayo on the feet.
Padayo on the feet
Patita Ashrumukya, of the one who fell down with tears in the eyes.
Patita
Patita
Ashramukya of the one
Ashramukya
who
of
fell
the
down
one
with
who fell
tears
down with
in
tears
the
to the
eyes
eyes.
Ya, he.
Yeah,
Yeah, he.
Hath, there.
Third,
But
there
there
Priya, wives.
Priya
three
wife
wives.
Akrita, became.
Akrita
Akrita
became
became
Ata Isha, bereft of husbands.
Ata
Ataisha,
Isha
bereft of
bereft of
husbands.
husband
Vimukta Kesha, loosened hair.
Vimuktakesha
Vimuktakesha,
loosened
loosened
hair
hair.
Translation, please repeat after me. It was he only who loosened the hair of all the wives of the miscreants.
It
It
was
was
he
he
who
only
loosened
who
the hair
loosened
of
the
all
hair of
the
all
wives
the
of the
wives of the
miscreants
miscreants.
Who dared open the cluster of your queen's hair,
who
Who
dared open the
dared
cluster
open
of
the
your
cluster of
queen's
your
hair
queen's hair,
which had been nicely dressed and sanctified
which
which
had
had
been
been
nicely
nicely
dressed
dressed
and
and sanctified
sanctified
for the great Rajasuya sacrificial ceremony.
for
for
the
the
great
great Rajasuya
Rajasuya
sacrificial
sacrificial
ceremony.
ceremony.
At that time,
At
At
that
the
time,
time,
she fell down at the feet of Lord Krishna with tears in her eyes.
she
she
fell
fell
down
down
at the
at the
feet
feet
of
of
Lord
Lord
Krishna
Krishna
with
with
tears
tears
in
in
her
her
eyes.
eyes.
Purport.
Purport. Queen Dwarpati had a beautiful bunch of hair which was sacrificed in the ceremonial function of Rajasuya Jag. But when she was lost in a bed, Dushasan touched her glorified hair to insult her. Dwarpati then fell down at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna decided that all the wives of Dushasan and company should have their hair loosened as a result of the battle of Kurukshetra. Thus, after the battle of Kurukshetra, after all the sons and grandsons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, all the wives of the family were obliged to loosen their hair as widows. In other words, all the wives of the Kuru family became widows because of Dushasana's insulting a great devotee of the Lord. The Lord can tolerate insult upon himself by any miscreant because the Father tolerates even insults from the Son, but he never tolerates insult upon his devotee. By insulting a great soul, one has to forgo all the results of pious acts and benediction also.
Hari Om Tat Sadom Agyanate Mirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pathaka Swamin Iti Namine Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradhaine Gaurakata Dhamadhaya Nagara Grama Tarini Namah Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadhe Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Hare Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana Mukam Karodi Vachalam Pangulangai Tegirim Kripa Tamaham Mande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. So this is yet another beautiful pastime of Lord Krishna, remembered by Arjuna in separation from Lord Krishna. And Yudhishthira and everybody have joined in the remembering of Krishna and the wonderful pastime. So Arjuna remembers that just because Dushasana has insulted by dragging the sanctified hair of Queen Draupadi, everybody, not only Dushasana's wives, but all the wives of all the Kurus, they had to loosen their hair on the death of their husband. So this is such a severe punishment. So Lord Krishna, he says in Bhagavad Gita, Name Bhakta Pranashyati, boldly declare Arjuna, Kaunteya Pradichanati Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Hey Kaunteya, son of Kunti, please boldly declare to the whole world that my devotee will never perish. So the devotee of Krishna is one who always remembers Krishna, not just whenever he is in distress. But all the time, whenever some distress comes, the devotee thinks this is the mercy of Krishna. He is thinking of me. He is so merciful unto me that he is giving me this particular big the struggle has to come, but he's saving me by giving a very lightweight. I am really very fortunate. So whenever they are suffering, they are undergoing any misery, they take it as mercy of Krishna, because without Krishna, there is nothing in the life of a devotee. So whenever there is something good happening also, that is also by Krishna's grace. They know that I am not at all qualified to get anything good, but I'm getting good because of Krishna. And if anything happens to them, severe miseries or trouble or anything, they know, oh, this is the mercy of Lord Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. So in this way, in all the time, a devotee always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And when they are in anxiety also, they will go to Krishna only. Whom else will they go for? And Krishna cannot see his devotees in anxiety. That is why he appears. Otherwise, why should we say Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Cha Dushkritam Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. So that is because he cannot tolerate his devotee being placed in anxiety by the miscreants, that he cannot tolerate. So he comes to help. So here Draupadi has surrendered to Krishna, falling at his lotus feet, crying with the tears in her eyes to protect her. And Krishna has decided at that time, all the wives of all the Kauravas wives will loosen their hair because of the loss of husband, and I will protect my dear Draupadi by supplying unlimited sari. So in this way, Krishna always decides in the favor of his devotee who surrenders unto him and who is always remembering him in both the misery's time and the pleasure time, all the time. They never forget Krishna. And they're always engaged in the service of Krishna. There is nothing called karma for the devotee. There is nothing called sinful activities for the devotee, because a devotee does what Krishna likes him to do and nothing otherwise. That is called a devotee. So just like our Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, we have the whole Acharya Parampara to follow. Everybody has exhibited practical life in the same material world that we are living. Just like us, they also came, they got married, somebody got sannyas, somebody got married, and sons and daughter and everything, you know. And they always done what Krishna wants them to do. So this is the mentality and attitude of a devotee. So for a devotee, it does not matter whether he is in Kali Yuga or Dwapara Yuga, whether he is in material world or spiritual world, nothing matters. All that matters is he does not want to miss Krishna. He always remembers Krishna. So now Arjuna, here after coming back, he is feeling so intense separation from Krishna that he cannot forget Krishna. So he is remembering bit by bit, every activity, every moment that he has passed with Krishna. When they were in struggle, also Krishna was there. Otherwise, also Krishna was there. So how wonderful pastimes that has happened. How Krishna has saved. Without Krishna, what would have happened? And there is a song, Yadi Gauraina hoite, Tabki hoite. And based on that, Srila Guru Maharaj also written, Yadi Prabhupada hoite, Tabki hoite. So the same thought will every devotee will think. And for Arjuna, Krishna is not just the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not just a friend. He is also his spiritual master who taught him this Srimad Bhagavad Gita one-to-one directly. So in this way, they always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, and remembering all the pastimes that happened in their life related to Krishna. How wonderful it is. And Krishna's quality, Krishna's glorification will automatically sprout pleasure in the heart of Arjuna and other devotees when they think that, you see, Krishna is such a wonderful person that he accepts insult upon himself, whatever demon, how much ever insult, just like Shishupal and Dandavatra, they've insulted Krishna like anything by speaking so harsh words that nobody can tolerate. But Krishna doesn't mind. But when it is coming to his devotee, If his devotee is insulted, Krishna can never forgive and he can never tolerate. So that wonderful quality is naturally exhibited in Krishna in the case of Draupadi. So Arjuna and others were remembering these wonderful moments of Krishna so being so kind, so intolerable to the suffering of his devotees. So this brings in a mellow and tears in the eyes. So in this way, they are feeling the separation of Krishna. We'll go to the next verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, verse 11. Yo no jugopavana etya duranta krichra.
Yo no
Yo no jugopavana
Pavana
etya
Duranta
duranta
Krishna
krishnat
Durvasa sori rachitad ayuthagra bhugya.
Durva
Durvasa Soari
durvasasori
Rachita
rachitad
Dayuta
ayuktagra
Grabhabhutya
bhugya
Sakannasishtamupayujya yathastrilokim.
Shakan
sakhanna shishtam
Sakannasishtam
upayujya
Upayujya
yatastrilokim
Triptam amamstasalile vinimagna sanga.
Tripta
Triptam
Mamasta Salile
amashtasalile
Vinina
vinimagna
Sangha
sangha
Sanga
Yo no jugopavana etya duranta krichrad.
Yono
Yo no
Jugopavana
jugopavana etya
Duranta
duranta
Krisha
krishnat
Durvasa sori rachitad ayuthagra bhugya.
Durva
durvasaso arirachitad ayuttagra bhugya
Sakannasishtamupayujya yatastrilokim.
sakhanna shishtam upayujya yatastrilokim
Triptam amamstasalile vinimagna sanga.
Triptam
Triptam amamshtasalile vinimagna sangha.
Devi Rupa. Krishna Chandra.
Yo no jugopavana etya duranta krishnat
Yo no jugopavana etya duranta krichrat.
Krichat
durvasaso arirachitad ayuttagra bhugya
Durva
Sasori rachitada yuthagra bhugya.
sakhanna shishtam upayujya yatastrilokim
Shakan
Nasishtamupayujya yatastriloki.
triptam amamshtasalile vinimagna sangha
Triptam
Triptam amamstasalile vinimagna sangha. Synonyms. Yeah, one who.
Yeah, one who
One
Na,
who
us.
na
now
us.
us
Jugopa gave protection.
Jugopa gave protection.
Give
protection.
Vane, forest.
Vane forest.
Forest.
Athya, getting in.
Itya
getting in.
Durantha, dangerously.
Duranta dangerously.
Dangerously.
Krichrat, trouble.
Krishrat trouble.
Trouble.
Durvasa, of Durvasa Muni.
Durvasa of Durvasa Muni.
Muni.
Ari, enemy.
Ari, enemy.
Rachitat, fabricated by.
Rachitat fabricated by.
Ayutha, 10,000.
Ayuta 10,000.
Ayuta 10,000.
Agrabuk, one who eats before.
Agdabhuk, one who eats before.
One who eats before.
Yeah, that person.
Yeah, that person.
That person.
Sakhanna Sishtam, remnants of foodstuff.
Sakhanna system, remnants of foodstuff.
Of food stuff.
Upayujya, having accepted.
Upayujya, having accepted.
Yatha, because.
Yata,
Yata,
because.
Trilokim, all the three words.
Trilokim, all the three worlds.
All the three words.
Truptam, satisfied.
Triptam, satisfied.
Amamstha, thought within the mind.
Amongst
Amongst
Thought within the mind.
within the mind.
Salile, while in the water.
Salile, while in the
While
water.
in the water.
Vinimagna Sang.
Vinimagna Sangha, all merged into the water.
Vinimagna Sangha,
all merged into the water.
All merged into the water.
Translation, please repeat after me. During our exile,
During our exile,
Durvasa Muni, who eats with his 10,000 disciples,
Durvasa Muni, who eats with his 10,000 disciples,
intrigued with our enemies to put us in dangerous trouble.
intrigued with our enemies to put us in dangerous trouble.
Trouble.
At that time, he, Lord Krishna,
At that time,
he, Lord Krishna,
simply by accepting the remnants of food, saved us.
Simply
by accepting the remnants of food, saved us.
Saved us.
saved us.
By his accepting food thus,
By his accepting food thus,
the assembly of Munis,
the
assembly of Munis,
while bathing in the river, felt sumptuously fed.
while bathing
in the river, felt sumptuously fed.
And all the three worlds were also satisfied.
And
all the three worlds were also satisfied.
Purport.
Purport. Durvasa Muni, a powerful mystic Brahmana determined to observe the principles of religion with great vows and under strict austerities. His name is associated with many historical events, and it appears that the great mystic could be both easily satisfied and easily annoyed. Like Lord Shiva, when he was satisfied, he could do tremendous good to the servitor. But if he was dissatisfied, he could bring about the greatest calamity. Kumari Kunti at her father's house used to minister all kinds of services to all great Brahmanas, and being satisfied with her good reputation, Durvasa Muni benedicted her with the power to call any demigod she desired. It is understood that he was a plenary incarnation of Lord Shiva, and thus he could be either easily satisfied or annoyed. He was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and by Lord Shiva's order, he accepted the priesthood of King Sveta Ketu because of the king's performance of sacrifice for 100 years. Sometimes he used to visit the parliamentary assembly of the heavenly kingdom of Indradeva. He could travel in space by his great mystic powers, and it is understood that he traveled a great distance through space, even up to the Vaikuntha planets beyond material space. He traveled all this long distance within 1 year. During his quarrel with King Ambarisha, a great devotee and emperor of the world, he had about 10,000 disciples, and wherever he visited and became a guest of the great Kshatriya kings, he used to be accompanied by a number of followers. Once he visited the house of Duryodhana, the enemy cousin of Maharaja Yudhishthira. Duryodhana was intelligent enough to satisfy the Brahmana by all means, and great Rishi wanted to give some benediction to Duryodhana. Duryodhana knew his mystic powers, and he knew also that the mystic Brahmana, if dissatisfied, could cause some havoc. And thus he designed to engage the Brahmana to show his wrath upon his enemy cousins, the Pandavas. When the Rishi wanted to award some benediction to Duryodhana, the latter wished that he should visit the house of Maharaja Yudhishthira, who was the eldest and chief among all his cousins. By his request, he would go to him after he had finished his meals with his queen Draupadi. Duryodhana knew that after Draupadi's dinner, it would be impossible for Maharaja Yudhishthira to receive such a large number of Brahmanas guests, and thus the Rishi would be annoyed and would create some trouble for the cousin Maharaja Yudhishthira. That was the plan of Duryodhana. Durvasha Muni agreed to this proposal, and he approached the king in exile. According to the plan of Duryodhana, after the king and Draupadi had finished their meals, on his arrival at the door of Maharaja Yudhishthira, he was at once well received, and the king requested him to finish his noontime religious rites in the river, for by that time the foodstuff would be prepared. Durvasha Muni, along with his large number of disciples, went to take bath in the river, and Maharaja Yudhishthira was in great anxiety about the guest. As long as Draupadi had not taken her meals, food could be served to any number of guests, but the Rishi, by the plan of Duryodhana, reached there after Draupadi had finished her meals. When the devotees are put into difficulty, they have an opportunity to recollect the Lord with rapt attention. So Draupadi was thinking of Lord Krishna in that dangerous position, and the all-pervading Lord could at once know the dangerous position of his devotees. He therefore came there on the scene and asked Draupadi to give whatever food she might have in her stock. On her being so requested by the Lord, Draupadi was sorrowful because the Supreme Lord asked her for some food and she was unable to supply it that time. She said to the Lord that the mysterious dish which she has received from the sun god could supply any amount of food if she herself had not eaten. But on that day, she had already taken her meals, and thus they were in danger. By expressing her difficulty, she began to cry before the Lord, as only a woman would do in such a position. The Lord, however, asked Draupadi to bring up the cooking pots to see if there was any particle of foodstuff left. And on Draupadi's doing so, the Lord found some particle of vegetable sticking to the pot. The Lord at once picked it up and ate it. After doing so, Lord asked Draupadi to call for her guest, the company of Durvasha. Bhima was sent to call them from the river. Bhima said, "Why are you delaying, sirs? Come on, the food is ready for you." But the Brahmanas, because of Lord Krishna's accepting a little particle of food, felt sumptuously felt, even while they were in the water. They thought, since Maharaja Yudhishthira must have prepared many valuable dishes for them, and since they were not hungry and could not eat, the king would feel very sorry. So it was better not to go there. Thus they decided to go away. This incident proves that the Lord is greatest mystic, and therefore he is known as Yogeshwara. Another instruction is that every householder must offer food to the Lord, and the result will be that everyone, even a company of guests numbering 10,000, will be satisfied because of the Lord's being satisfied. That is the way of devotional service.
Hariam, that's a so wonderful pastime, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So how wonderfully the Lord is protecting his devotees. Such a Lord, how can they feel separation from such a Lord? So Arjuna is feeling intense separation. And he was remembering from the very beginning all the incidents that took place. So Lord Krishna takes away with him all his associates when he disappears from the earth that we saw. and how Arjuna is now feeling intense separation. This is wonderful pastime, one by one, whatever happened with Lord Krishna, Arjuna was remembering, and also all the Pandavas, because they all were involved in those pastimes. And now it has become a wonderful satsanga wherein they are discussing the glories of Krishna. They all forgot their, anxieties and everything, and they were floating in the ocean of bliss by remembering the pastimes of Krishna. At the same time, they are also feeling intense separation from Krishna. So this is the beauty of satsang. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. If Krishna is not present, then we should remember his pastimes, his instructions, his entourage, his name, fame, glories, everything. And we should chant his holy name of the Lord. And these Pandavas are perfectly doing the same thing. Any questions or comments or realization, please do share with us. It's wonderful pastimes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much for the association. So we'll resume our Srimad Bhagavatam class tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Till then, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Aditya Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Pavan Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Vaishnav Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhya. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Nitai